After years of hard work, living below my means and saving aggressively, I finally managed to buy my first car. Yes! And it's not just any car. It's a 2008 Renault Sport Clio 3 RS 197. This isn't just a car, it's a dream come true. I grew up surrounded by cars, from watching Fast and Furious and the French Taxi saga, to playing Need for Speed, Juiced 2 and Gran Turismo. So you can imagine my excitement when I finally got my hands on a car like this one. This particular one is a 2008 model which has 157k kilometers on the clock, which I think it's not really too bad considering the age of the car. I think, well, I know for a fact that it's a 16-year-old car, so I guess that's not too shabby for a car with this age, and I just think that it wasn't driven that much, which is a really great point. But the craziest thing about this story is that I made a promise to myself when I was 16 years old, and I told myself that whatever my first car is gonna be, it's not gonna be a normal, boring car. It should be special even by a little bit, and I think that today I've made it. It doesn't look like much, and I know it's not much to a lot of you guys, but this means a whole lot to me. You have no idea. I've been working, I've been grinding, and I've been saving to finally get my first car, and I finally did it. So even though it's not the perfect car, it means a whole lot to me, and I'm super glad that I have bought this car finally. The Clio 3 RS 197 is a small but seriously fun car. With a high-revving, naturally aspirated engine, it loves to be pushed hard. And with its sharp handling, it sticks to the road like glue. It's a proper driver's car. And Misha Sharudan, for those who don't know him, is one of the most experienced drivers on the Nürburgring. And he states that the Clio 3 RS is one of his all-time favorite hot hatches, especially around the track. He even went and stated that this is a budget GT3 RS for him.
The previous gen GT3 RS without a GT, all the bad jokes aside, for me a Clio 3 is like a GT3 RS without a GT.
I mean, that's high praise. But there is a catch with this one right here. This car is far from being perfect, but there is a reason for that. Just stick with me till the end of this video. First, let's just dive in and take a closer look, shall we? First impression, the classic Clio RS shape is iconic, and it still turns heads. But on the other hand, well, let's just say that this Clio 3 RS in particular, it's seen better days. First of all, the bodywork is a disaster area. There are dents everywhere. Here, 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 and here. It looks like it's been in a war zone. The rims are totally scratched and hopefully can be saved. The bumper is cracked and is missing the tow hook cover, as well as the left fog light, which I have in my hand right here. The arch liners are completely missing, and the front grills are of a normal Clio 3 or a Megane 2. Oh gosh. And a few more imperfections here and there. The only good part in this car, I would say, is the trunk. And even the trunk, I would say, it needs a little fixing here and there and some paint job. It has some dents here and it has some dents here. Yeah, but as far as it goes, I would say that the trunk is the best I can have with this car.
As for the interior, it's a bit of a mixed bag. The semi-bucket RS seats are legendary for their support, but these ones are showing their age with some tears and wear. The original audio unit is missing, and I'm left with this cheap one right here that doesn't even work. Plus some few parts are missing here and there.
Also, you can see here that the roof and pretty much everywhere inside this car is pretty dirty and is probably gonna need a very deep and very meticulous detailing. But as far as the interior goes, I'm not really worried. I think that it can be saved pretty easily. Considering the exterior part of the car, I would say that the interior is pretty alright. It's pretty decent. Hopefully it's gonna be saved and we'll see how it goes. Now, I know what you're all gonna say to me, right? Like, this is all aesthetics and this is a 16-year-old car and this is to be expected with the age of the car, and I would agree with you. The only problem is this is just the surface. We're just scratching what's wrong with this car. I even can say that the worst is yet to come.
First off, the suspension is shot. It's like riding a bucking bronco.
Here we go!
Which means that I will probably have to change the entire strut assembly, and this including the struts, the springs, and the upper mounts. I'm also pretty sure that I can hear a wheel bearing starting to give up, so this will be something to take into consideration as well. It's starting to sting already. The good news though is that the ball joints and bushings seems to be okay.
The car shakes like a rattle can. Especially when it's on a cold start or it's under pressure with high revving. It's gonna be hard to show you right now, but trust me, when I start this car on cold start, the engine bay is shaking as hell. And when I'm revving it to about 6,000, 6,500 RPMs, the entire cabin just starts to shake. It really feels like this engine is about to jump out of the car. From what I've researched, it seems like this is a pretty common issue with the Clio 3 RS and other Renault from this era. And apparently the mysterious part that is causing all these troubles, well, it's not one part, those are multiple parts. And those are the engine mounts, especially the upper left engine mount and the lower engine mount. So those will definitely need to be checked, but the symptoms here are telling me that this is probably gonna be a must. Until now, we've covered some pretty common issues, I would say, and some tear and wear that comes with the mileage and the age of the car. But there is one problem that plagues the Clio 3 RS, and it's a deal breaker.
You see, the Clio 3 RS, both the 197 and the 200 versions, share a gearbox with many other Renault models, and it's called the TL4 manual gearbox. And while it works fine with most cars, the Clio's high revving engine and aggressive nature put immense stress on it.
The results? Well, it's worn out synchro rings, especially the third and fourth gear, and unfortunately, my car is no exception.
The high torque, combined with the slightly delayed clutch, that is also a default issue straight from the manufacturer, creates the perfect storm for gearbox problems. This is definitely the biggest challenge I'll be facing with this car. But on the positive side, the car isn't all bad.
The good news is this car's heart is in the right place and it's sounding and looking good.
The 2-liter 16 valves engine is a real gem. It revs freely up to 7,500 RPM and sounds like a proper sports car should. It's the kind of engine that makes you grin from ear to ear. There is a real purity to it that's hard to find in modern cars.
Now I did notice a slight oil leak. I don't know if you can see here. It's around the solenoid area, and it's definitely something that I'm gonna look into, and hopefully it's nothing crazy and nothing too complicated. But yeah, I noticed this and I can confidently say that this is pretty much all that is wrong with this engine, besides the fact that it needs proper cleaning. That's for sure, and I can't wait to have this car as clean as possible. Also, please, if you've ever encountered this kind of issues that I cited before, or this one with the solenoid, if you have any idea or any tricks with this car, you own this car and you have some tricks with it, just drop a comment below and help a brother out here, and you're gonna know why very soon. So you would ask me, but Ilyas, this is your first car. Why would you go and buy a scrapped car that is full of issues and that is completely scratched and just completely ruin your first car experience? From this perspective, I totally agree with you, and it would have made no sense whatsoever. But I have plans, and they go beyond just enjoying and driving my hot hatch right here.
As you know now, I've been obsessed with cars for as long as I can remember. Car shows, movies, video games, you name it, I was there. I've spent countless hours daydreaming about driving my favorite supercars. And let's be honest, I've also done some questionable driving with my parents' car being younger. I guess this is something that petrol heads have done at least once in their lifetime.
But there is one important thing for me that is missing from my
automotive
resume, and there is mechanical knowledge. I'm just completely clueless when it comes to anything under the hood or under the car. Not even oil servicing, changing an air filter, or changing braking pads. Heck, I've never ever unscrewed one bolt in the car besides the ones on the wheels.
I would say that changing a tire is about as deep as my mechanical expertise goes.
I really see this as a good opportunity to dive into the world of mechanics. And I think that the Clio 3 RS right here is gonna help me achieve that. This car is from that era where there wasn't a lot of nonsense electronic systems going on that even experienced mechanics have to struggle with. I think it's the perfect chance for me to learn the fundamentals without being a lot distracted with the maze of electronical systems. And plus, I think that Renault focused more on the purity of the driving on this car, which makes it more mechanically inclined. So I really think that this car is the ideal learning environment. I really can't wait to start this adventure. I know it's gonna be a mess. I know that most of the time I'm not gonna have any idea what I'm doing and you're gonna see a lot of mistakes. I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys. I'm gonna share the good, the bad, and the ugly. Expect to see me covered in grease, scratching my head, and probably doing some dumb mistakes. But hey, that's all part of the learning process, right? I guess the faster I'm gonna fail, the faster I'm gonna learn. Hopefully. I really want to take you with me into this journey, guys, and hopefully we can turn this car into something kind of cool, you know. We're gonna do our best, and it's gonna be a little challenge, especially that I'm based in Morocco, and gathering the parts is gonna be really challenging. But you know, I like myself a little challenge, and Hopefully it's gonna be worth the adventure.
So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and push the notification bells on so you can join this journey and embark in this car transformation together. I really can't wait to start this journey and this adventure, and hopefully it's gonna be worth it. Please also, if any of you have ever owned this car or have any knowledge on how to fix or upgrade this car, please, I'm gonna need all the help I can have. I'm trying my best with forums, but I'm gonna need all the help I can have so I can work on this car alone. And advices, if you have, all the help will be welcomed and will be needed actually. So please don't be shy, just get onto your keyboards and just leave a comment if you can help with this car. Thanks everyone, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Tschüss.
Please leave a comments in the comments.